All right, hello and welcome back to the She Dares Wins podcast. And my guest today is JoJo. Welcome.
Hello. Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, amazing. It's iconic. And it was a friend of mine that suggested you. And I was like, yeah, of course. Why not? Yorkshire celebrity, of course.
Yeah.
Someone that's been in everyone's ears. And when I spoke to you on the phone, I was like, it's like I'm driving in my car and the person that I've listened to is here.
Yeah. I never had a fake radio voice. My voice was my voice. And having broadcast to Yorkshire since 1997, I have been in people's ears for a very long time because I only finished broadcasting at the start of this year, 2025. That was my last broadcast, 21st of February, 2025. And at that point, that was 28 years because I first went on the radio in 1997 on the 17th of February.
Wow.
I know. So 28 years. I mean, amongst my friends, and I can't believe that I managed to hold down a job for that amount of time. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know anyone really. I mean, in the past, people had a job, didn't they, for life kind of thing, and then they'd retire.
Yeah.
I mean, people jump from job to job, and I haven't done that. So I'm now, after 28 years of talking on mainly bobbins on the radio, now without any kind of direction. So that's why I've come to you.
Okay, so we're going to go into some career guidance then. No, it is incredible. And I think it stands for something that means that it must have been a job that you were massively passionate about. I realised here we should introduce, if there's no one that knows you, which will, if you don't, then you're dead to this podcast. But radio presenter for Galaxy Capital.
Well, I've actually began with Kiss 105.
Oh, Kiss!
So this station, I was out nightclubbing in Leeds, which is where I'm from, and I met this guy who was wearing a gold lame dress and he had a handlebar moustache, and he went, "Are you that JoJo? You've got a good voice, you should come and audition for this new radio station. I'm head of music." I'm like, "Oh, all right, yeah. Great." I mean, I do like a guy in a dress. I don't trust a guy who won't wear a dress, to be honest. And I went in for an interview, having done no live broadcasting ever. I mean, up until that point, my only interaction with radio is I was the voiceover for Pete Tong on Radio 1's Essential Selection in the 90s.
How did you get that gig then, that first initial
Again,
gig?
in a nightclub. Honestly, all my business dealings happen in nightclubs. Everything's on the dance floor. Again, I met him. He was DJing at a club I was working with called Vague in the 90s. And he said, "Oh, you've got a great voice. If you go in the studio and record, I'll give you a couple of £100." And I was like, easy money. So I had a mate who had a studio. I went, Pete Tong's going to give me some money if I just who got the power? Pete Tong got the power. Are you a train spotter? Choo choo. I did all these things, and everything I would have edited from the tape that I recorded in that 20 minutes is what he used, and I couldn't believe it. But I got £200, ka-ching, and I was like, oh, that's all right. So
it gave you a taster.
It gave me a taste.
Before that, did you have... Well, obviously you were heavy in the music scene, loving music, but what were you thinking career-wise, or did you have no clue?
Oh, darling, I wanted to be a classical actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I trained at the at Lambda.
Oh, did you go to Lambda?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you were...
London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art. Honestly, I thought I was going to be Dame Judi Dench. Do you know what I mean? The black version, obviously. I moved to London just weeks after my 18th birthday and pursued and did a diploma in classical acting, and then realised it's a tough business to break into. And at that point, back in the 90s, there weren't that many brown faces on TV. I mean, I had Floella Benjamin, Mrs. Huxtable off The Cosby Show, and Moira Stewart. Were it. Honestly, there was no women of colour on TV, really.
And that's a massive, Moira Stewart to those... It's like
Sorry.
huge, isn't it?
Honestly, I met Moira once and I was like, oh my God, you're iconic. I mean, I was a little overzealous. I kind of got her in a headlock. It was meant to be a hug. But, but yeah, she took it well. She let me have a photograph taken with her. And she was like, it was an inspiring person for me to meet, because they say you can't be what you can't see.
Yeah, did you feel that then? Did you feel like...
Yeah, I didn't know. I kind of went quite blasé to London thinking, I'm going to be on the stage. I'm going to do theatre, because I've done a lot of school productions, and I went to a school that Mel B went to off of Spice Girls fame. It was a normal comprehensive school, but it had a theatre arts course. So when people were doing kind of PE and stuff, you'd be doing contemporary dance. And when people were doing a woodwork or whatever, you'd be doing drama. So I kind of got a taste for it. Yeah. And then at the age of 13, I was in the National Youth Theatre.
Oh, okay.
So I toured around, You
did the proper route then, like...
Yeah. I mean,
sure.
I really... And that's a path that I feel hasn't been fully explored,
Ooh.
And it's quite interesting that I still kind of think, oh, what if? But you can't think what if, because your paths took your path, when I got into radio, for example, I never thought, I want to do radio.
Yeah.
I just met this guy, as I say, in a gold lame dress and a handlebar moustache. And of course I went for an interview, and I literally went for this interview to be on radio, because I'd kind of lost, I didn't have a clue really what I was doing with myself. I was only 23, 24 at that point.
Right, okay.
And I was running a nightclub, running around with lots of cross-dressers and... having a wild time, I can tell you. And I just thought, this is a good opportunity. Why not? I'll go and have an interview. And I had this interview, and I'm not joking. There were 6 guys sat around this table. And do you know what they said to me? They said, what can you do? And I went, what do you mean, what can I do? You tell me, you maximise my potential, someone ought to. God, so I thought, I came out of the interview thinking, we're a bit too confident, a bit too... Anyway, within 2 hours, they rang me up and said, we're not sure what we're going to do with you, but we think we want to give you a job. I was like, what do you mean you think? So I kind of had to, a crash course in training, kind of radio broadcasting over in Manchester at KISS 102, which was the sister station. And, kind of putting together kind of gossip packages, kind of pre-recorded rather than live. And then after that kind of 2 weeks of kind of work experience, they said, we think we're going to put you on the breakfast show with this guy who was known as Bam Bam. And then before you knew it, it was Wake Up and Go-Go with Bam Bam and JoJo. And I've got to be honest, I know it's a great title, isn't it? It's a great title. But I'll be honest with you, this guy had a good decade of radio experience, and we've spoken about it now, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying, but he wasn't very kind to me.
Oh, okay.
He was kind of, he didn't think he needed a co-host. Right. He didn't want that, but they wanted a female element on the show. Okay. And he tried to kind of, you can do the travel. And I was like, I don't even drive. I don't know. I couldn't do the travel. So then I started to be the voice of, what was going on in the world of gossip. I did this thing called Kiss and Tell, where I just taught, have a few little clips. And
do you think that was the classic old, a little bit of an ego hit to him, and then he was like...
Yeah, because everybody in radio, and it is quite male...
Is it?
Yeah,
and still, do you think it is?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right.
There's quite a few women getting through, but the males within it that I have worked with, they have always done that job, and they've, back in the early 90s, you would go through a route of doing hospital radio or something like that to kind of get through, or you offer your services making tea for old DJs at whatever local stations. And it does actually make me worry now, because there aren't any local stations for people to get that kind of experience. But what I'm trying to say is every guy I've worked with, their only kind of mission in life was to be on the radio.
And
Do you know what I mean?
Is there like you say, a bit of a fight for it's like my show with
Oh,
somebody?
God, yeah. I mean, like with Wake Up and Go with Bam Bam and JoJo, Peter, as his real name was, would say, blah, 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 something to me. And it could be quite cruel. And because he was driving the desk, he would close my microphone so I'd have no chance to respond. And I'll always remember there was a day when I was really sick of him. And I was sick of, and not, because it wasn't just me on the show. There was, back then, it was a big budget, man. We had a sports guy, there was a news person and a travel person.
Oh, right.
And I remember him saying to us all, this radio lark is like a game of chess. And I'm the king of the board. And I don't play chess, right? I don't know. But I quipped, I think you'll find the queen is the most powerful. Little did I know, the queen is pretty good, isn't it? I must learn how to play chess. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, what a dick move to do. But...
Yeah. I mean, as I say, I've seen him in later years. He's still working in radio. I get it. You know, he'd worked from a small little station. This was his beast, to get a breakfast show as well.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you progress to a breakfast show. You don't go on a breakfast show as a novice.
Yeah.
And anyway, 28 years later, who was still on the breakfast show? Well, I was still on the show, wasn't I, all those years? And as I say, I've been through so many different lineups. It's all, you know, it's been Anthony. Well, it was, first of all, it was Wake Up and Go with Bam Bam and JoJo. Then it was Anthony and JoJo. That was part of the Hursty's Daily Dose. And then I was Adam and JoJo. And people always say, you've been there the longest. Why don't you have your name first? You should have your name first. And I was like, no. I don't need to have my name first.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy just being on the end and being consistently there. And I think that is how I survived for so many, many years. I mean, I didn't bring any disrepute upon the business. You know, I kept my nose clean, and turning up, and out of the 28 years that I was there, 22 of those were breakfast. So that's 22 years of getting up at 4:30.
I really wanted to unpack that because I'm not a morning person, and you have so much amazing energy, and it's from the off go. Like it's quite irritating. No, it's not. Like, whoever says that, they need shooting, because I wish I could harness that.
Honestly, it's one of my superpowers. Yeah. I can wake up and immediately speak.
And you just poof.
Which my husband finds really irritating, especially now I've moved into the middle of nowhere and I'm at home. Like, for many years, he was in charge of getting our son to school and all of that. I'd always left the house.
Of course, you'd miss all that, wouldn't you?
And then suddenly I was home and it's like, oh my God, shh.
So you did have days where you were just like, fuck this shit, because you're human.
Everyone has days like that. You know, we all have had jobs where you're at work and you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But the only problem with the job in broadcasting, live broadcasting, is that if you're having a bad day, everyone hears it. And you've got to try and leave your crap at the door, as it were. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I could have, had some really bad news, you know, in the early hours of the morning, and you still got to turn up, get through it, and then deal with it afterwards.
Yeah, I think there's a lot there, that most people couldn't do.
No,
I think that's...
But it's just, in one sense, the radio world is almost that 4 hours that you're broadcasting. It's 4 hours off from the real world.
Oh, that's really interesting. So it's like your what do they call it?
And there's a real privilege at being there for people right at the start of the day, when they wake up and you're the first voice they hear, and tell them, you know, congratulations, you're here, we're alive, it's another day in paradise. We're lying. But, you know, I really liked that part of the job, you know, kind of.
That's a really lovely way of looking at it, and I would never think of it like that. But you're right. The first thing you do, cold in the morning or in the sort, you switch on the radio.
Yeah, and there's that familiar voice, and that, you know, and there is something about them, because obviously when you do radio, everyone says to you, "Oh, why don't you do television?" And I have done a few TV shows where it's like, okay, Jojo, this next bit has got to be like 30 seconds to camera, you know, and you'd give them 29 to the camera, and then they were, oh, that was perfect, but the lighting wasn't right. Can we just do that again? And just do that again. Whereas with radio, it's live. You do stumble, you do trip over your words, you do get things wrong, and obviously listeners like to tell you when you're wrong. Trust me.
Yeah, because that's another thing, is you're not just like coercing with your colleagues, is you've then got like guests coming in.
Yeah.
Like old school radio with guests coming in, and then also listeners.
I mean, this is the thing. So when I began in radio in 1997, the way that listeners got in touch with the radio was writing a letter. Actually, ringing an old school phone number or sending a fax. Then it kind of moved on to, we got the internet. And I can't remember, I think it might have been 1999 we got the internet at my work. And so we invented this feature on the show, which is what we call a benchmark. So at 7 o'clock, it's like, right, the internet search for the truth is happening. You know, get in touch, ask us any question, because we have the internet and you don't. We'll get you the answer within half an hour. Because you're always wanting... Yeah. That is the sound of the old school internet, the old dial-up, yeah?
And it used to be, no one else could be on the line, could they? Be like, get off the line.
So it's been really interesting to see how the technology changed and how people could interact with you, because when it got to that point when people could just text in and you got this barrage of text, you know, it became apparent that as much as they could text in content for the show, they could also just text in vile things.
So would there be a producer that prevents that getting through to you guys, or have you got a live screen?
No, you see it all.
You
see it. Yeah, you see it all. And obviously, I mean, I don't know, this is quite a PC program, isn't it? But
not this.
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
no.
So if I got a text that said, Jojo, why don't you fuck off, you loudmouth bitch?
Yeah.
In the old days, I would see their number because it would come through into the studio, and after the show, I'd ring them up, and I'd just say, hello, it's Jojo. Yeah, I'm just ringing to thank you for your really positive message. I hope you have a really brilliant day. And it'd be, oh no, it wasn't me. I didn't say it. It was my mate, Daz. I didn't text it. And I was like, you know, and I got into trouble for that because obviously data protection. But I just didn't like the fact that people could just like say something really mean and then step aside and not know that I hadn't, you know, I had seen it.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't made of like, you know, stronger stuff, I could have like, that could really kind of like erode at your confidence, but I didn't let it. And also, you know, like now I've got, well, my son's 19 now, but you know, he was brought into the world when, you know, kids started getting iPads and stuff like that. And you know, and the social media. And my rule was never write anything you would not be prepared to say to someone face to face.
Yeah.
Them are the rules.
But we're so far from that now, aren't we? But like it is horribly scary.
Mm-hmm.
What about the visual side of things? So like back old school times, no one would have ever like, we didn't really know what people look like on the radio other than a poster. But now I see there's like, when did the cameras come in?
Yeah.
And how did that affect your job?
Can I just tell you, one of the most amazing things when I first began in the radio, one of the things I really loved about broadcasting on the radio was the anonymity. Mm-hmm. So when I was trying to be an actor, you could literally walk in an audition and they'd look at you and go, no, you're not right. I was like, I haven't even spoken yet. What do you mean I'm not right? You know?
Yeah.
And you can take from that whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I did, when we used to kind of go out, do club nights and meet listeners, do club events and whatnot. And people would come up to me and they say, oh my God, I didn't know you were black. Or I thought you'd be taller. I thought you'd have bigger tits. You know what I mean? And that's what I loved about the radio is they just hear a voice and it's up to the listener to kind of
visualize what you would look like.
And that visualization is the limitation of their imagination.
Yeah, it's like a book, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you read a book, but you don't know what, how it's supposed to look.
Yeah, so once it became like very like, this is your image. I mean, I mean, before, like, say Instagram and whatever, yes, I was plastered on the backs of buses.
Yeah.
In bed with a guy looking under the covers. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, and
was that hard then, or did you embrace it? Were you like,
no, I embraced it, but my dad was a taxi driver at the time, and I never told him, and he nearly crashed when he saw me in bed on back of a double decker.
I bet just like.
But yeah, it was kind of sad in one way that everyone now knows what you look like, and they can look. That I liked that anonymity, and I did like it when I was out and about, because I have got such a distinctive voice. I'd be out and about, and people go, "Oh my God, you don't half sound like that JoJo."
And you could just be like,
"Yeah," and I was like, "Who? What? Oh no, I'm a nurse."
Oh yeah, of course.
I loved it.
Yeah, of course you would have. Completely had that. Yeah, and I have so many questions about, like, you're in this world where it's go, right? It's 4 hours in the morning. Was it 4 hours in total?
Yeah. So you kind of get in. First thing you do, because I'm like awake and lively, I'd always make everyone a cup of tea, and people have always said to me, "Oh, if there's a new producer, get them to make the tea." Do you know what I mean? I was like, no, I make the tea because I know tea is power. Because, tea is going to make somebody who's come in, or like, wake up and come alive. And I'm always one step ahead of everyone else because I'm awake and they're not. So I need to bring them up to speed. And also, if you were annoyed with somebody, I did enjoy just leaving the tea bag in. So they'd be drinking their brew and it'd just get stronger and stronger. And then at the end, they get tea bagged. But I could be very cruel. There was one person I worked with, and he liked sugar, lots of sugar. And one day I just put loads of salt in it, and he just spat it out. And he went, "What's that for?" "Because you've annoyed me."
Oh, I love it. It sounds like you had an immense fun as well. Like,
oh God, yeah, you're like a dysfunctional family. And the thing is, it's at stupid o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You have to you kind of come in, you might have a rough idea of what is going to happen on the show this morning, but a lot of it is you're making up as you go along. Because
that's what I can't even imagine. Like, you've got to be so creative, so like, that is one hell of a talent to do that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you've got a couple of brains, or as I was in a triple header show, 3 brains.
You just bounce off each other.
That's it. And everyone plays to their strengths and their roles. Right. You know what I mean? If your persona is miserable, you are miserable. If you're a bit naive, you're naive, or a bit gullible. If you're just happy, you're just happy. Always like glass half full, not half empty kind of spirit. That's kind of. I mean, I think my natural disposition is joy.
Yeah.
I just,
God, why would you want to be any other way? That's amazing.
I just try and be, and I try and just, and that's what's so good about that job. I never thought of it as a job I wanted to do, but I got the opportunity, and I was like, yeah, this makes sense. This, I can do this.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, all my school reports said JoJo taught too much. Who's laughing now?
Yeah. No, but it's nice that because you could have been like 20, 30 years down the road and gone, oh shit, what am I doing in this job? That was for me. So that it's nice that you found that when you did.
Yeah, I found it, but now I'm still looking, going, is there still time to become an actor?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You can definitely make that work.
I can definitely make that work. Well, so I've now left my home of Yorkshire and I've moved to Wales.
Yes, which is a massive shift.
Huge shift. My husband...
Not just Wales, like you are quite in...
Oh, I'm in proper Wales, as they say. That's what someone said. Oh, what?
You're not just over the border.
Yeah. I mean, for me to get to a motorway from where I live takes 2 hours, and that's only 70 miles to get to a motorway, but it's a 2-hour drive.
All right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like I've honestly, since I've moved to Wales, I've become very skilled at reversing.
Oh, down those country lanes.
There's
like...
so many country lanes, and it's just like, oh, look, there's two tractors coming. Oh, gosh. Okay, they're not going to reverse. It's going to be me, isn't it?
It's a new skill set.
Yeah, I've moved to Wales, and now I'm kind of thinking, what am I going to do? Because I've moved to Wales because basically my husband got an opportunity there and has been working there for the last 2 years. And we decided, do you know what? We can't maintain this just catching a few hours at the weekend.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Let's move to the mountains.
Yeah.
And so he's sorted, and I am there, and I'm now at a place where initially when I first got there, which was like, it's only 6 months ago.
Right.
It just felt like a bit of a holiday because I didn't have anywhere to live. So I was just living out of a bag and just going out on day trips every day. Oh, I'm going to explore here, go there. So it did feel like a bit of a holiday. And then I got a house and it's like, oh gosh, right, reality, mortgage again. Oof, don't want that really, that responsibility. And now, as we head towards the winter, I'm looking toward the new year thinking, well, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be a trad wife and just make my husband's dinner. Do you know what I mean? Do I look like I'm going to make you dinner every day?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind. I do like cooking, but I'm so used to having my own money.
Yeah.
And I've only got so much savings, so I'm going to have to
Yeah.
make a living somehow because me ain't going to rely on no man.
Are you excited about it?
I am excited. And I mean, it is kind of like, because quite a few of my friends did say to me, but what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I'm just going to live, aren't I, in the countryside? Yeah. And, you know, I think they kind of, I don't know, probably thought I was going to join the Welsh WI and, you know, make chutneys. I don't know. And that's it. I'm quite happy with the not knowing because for 28 years, even though the brand of the radio station changed, I went to the same building every single day for 28 years. And to be fair, I needed to break that cycle.
Right. Did you? Yeah, I was going to... Was it a point where you were like, this isn't servicing me anymore?
Oh, God, yeah.
Right.
Definitely. And if I'm truly honest, I should probably jumped out when I'd done my 20 years. I'm going to go, 20 years, and jumped out then. But I didn't. Right. And I know how people get stuck in places because it's the trappings of, well, I'm responsible for this, I'm responsible for that. And when you know you've got X amount of money coming in that will provide for all those particular expenditures and people who rely on you, you kind of feel like obliged.
Yeah, totally.
Do you know? But having said that, there's worse ways to make a living. So, so it all kind of happened quite naturally. It was like, okay, I know, because I was caring for my father up to 2023, and he passed away. So in the last couple of years, I've just become freer and freer. I only got one child, and he's 19, so he's moved to London now. Yeah. So suddenly I was like, okay, I'm not responsible for anyone.
Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, and so let's just go into the unknown.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
I feel like there's definitely the acting route seems like.
Well, you know, Michael Sheen, the greatest actor of all time, has opened his own Welsh National Theatre. I think, hello, Michael Sheen, I'm available. Classically trained.
Yeah. You've got all the chops for it. Would you prefer, like, what's your ideal? Would you be going theatre, or would you?
I love theatre.
Would you take anything? Because it's live. Theatre. I feel like that would tie nicely into the radio.
I like live. There's something about being part of a production that obviously, when we work on the radio, you are part of a production. You are part of a team, and I think that naturally I like to be in those kind of environments. I think I'd love to do what you're doing to have.
I was thinking you should do the podcast.
I know, but I just don't know if I'm that organised. You
JoJo,
Michelle, you're organised. I can tell you're organised. Do you know what I mean? To just do something on my own. I mean, you're responsible for every element of this. You know, and I am absolute technophobe.
You just need a mic, and it's honestly.
And
you'll
then
be
just
fine.
plug yourself in,
Yeah.
off you go,
You'll be
crack
grand.
on. But then also the world of podcasts, I do listen to a lot of podcasts, but I do feel the world is saturated with them. So unless
Yes.
you've got something that's going to stand above everything else, like yours does pop, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of
Trash.
trash out there, you know what I mean?
I think if you tune into like a passion and you don't do it for, I think a lot of people go into podcasting for like other reasons, like to monetize something they're doing elsewhere. Or, but if you just find something really key, I think they can stand like tall in you know what seems like quite a convoluted area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's it's really exciting because there's lots of options.
Yeah, I mean, so I used to broadcast with Hursty, now known as Stephanie Hurst.
Yes, I only recently knew about this.
Yeah, so Stephanie is, you know, she's someone who's always saying, come on, JoJo, let's do a podcast together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do think we have got a captive audience where if we actually just recorded our nonsensical conversations once a week.
Yeah.
But I for me now, I want to be beyond Yorkshire.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I want to appeal
To a broader
outside of that.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's probably would do it within that realm. Yeah, that's quite an exciting thing.
Yeah. So Stephanie, maybe we'll make some pilots, love.
Yeah, do it. I'm daring you to do it. So it's gonna be done. Is there anything from radio that? So back in the day, you'd have had guests on too, like famous people.
And
or such.
you know what? Not as many as you'd think.
Right.
So you like, because a lot of artists now, they can just promote themselves via Instagram.
Yeah, you don't see them.
They
going,
used to actually go to all the local radio stations, you know, like your Little Mixes and your One Directions and stuff like that. And you could get in the flesh interviews with them, do you know what I mean? And then...
Was that an enjoyable part of the job?
Yeah, but sometimes it was not as exciting as you'd hope it would be.
Because they're in quickly, they've got an agenda.
And you just know that they are being asked the same questions everywhere they're going. And it's you kind of feel like they're on a bit of a treadmill and you're just kind of running alongside them for the 10 minutes you get and then off they go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't harness any kind of relationship.
I actually preferred just the listener interaction to actually having any big kind of show busy.
Ah, that's fascinating, isn't it?
Show busy, like real stories, real people.
Yeah.
It just laughs and connections with listeners were always a lot more fun than, you know, I know Robbie Williams coming in. Oh, he's not coming in now. He's just going to speak to you on the phone. So a lot of things were just through the desk on the phone, pre-recorded, and then put out as live. Which is another thing you can't do now.
Oh, yeah.
You can't say, oh, they're here, because they're here, and then also on 7 other radio stations. The rules have changed massively. You just can't tell those fibs anymore.
Did you ever meet any heroes, though?
Did I ever meet any heroes?
Of yours? Like, is there anyone that was like...
No, not really. As I say, it was at a radio awards that I met Moira Stewart.
Oh, okay.
And that's pretty much the highlight. I mean, no, to be fair, we used to always do like Christmas light switch on at Meadow Hall, which is a big shopping centre in Yorkshire.
Yeah, there's some big names that have done that.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ray. She was one of the biggest names.
Yeah.
But back then, you know, it was 15,000 people. I mean, So there was quite a lot of artists that came through and performed there. And that was quite nice because you're backstage with them and, you know, doing your makeup and putting on a show and it's a live situation. And I think in those situations, I was always really good at that because I just love a stage. Whereas sometimes a lot of radio presenters are like...
they can't make this.
They quite like being in the comfort of their studio with their microphone, not actually, being heard and not seen.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And then there's a complete flip.
Yeah, so
but that's going to put you in good stead. Like that's clearly what you love, which is amazing, and that you'll probably find that fire again in something else.
I hope so. In the meantime, I'm just enjoying scampering around the mountains,
in the Welsh mountains.
And making friends with sheep and goats.
Yeah, I can see that. There's plenty to go at. I say there's plenty to go at in Wales. Like, have you found it a massive difference? You're someone that loves being around people, loves being in city centres, you know, the buzz.
Yeah.
Has it changed you? I know it's only been 6 months, but...
So far, living in the Welsh countryside, it is a bit of a... What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, gosh, this is the menopause. I can see the word, but I can't say it. I can't speak it.
And I'm thinking
I remember this was another reason why I needed to get out of radio, because the menopause came on really strong, and I could be chatting away on the radio, and I just say a word, thinking it's a word that I meant to say, and it would be nonsensical. I mean, the only example I can think of is I was talking about Ed Sheeran one time, and all I was trying to say was that if you go to an Ed Sheeran concert, you know, don't take any gazebos or barbecues or whatever, because they're banned. But I couldn't find the word. And I was kind of starting to panic. I was like, yeah, don't take any barbecues because they are prohibited. And I was like, someone swallowed a dictionary. And I was like, at least that word made sense. But there was other times when I was looking for a word and the word didn't come. Yeah, so I kind of thought, because I've always kind of done radio and relied on whatever comes out of my mouth I can trust. And I started not to trust what I was saying and feeling confident as well. So
I was going to say, did that give you a wobble then?
It gave me such a wobble. And then can you imagine when you're working with a completely male team saying, look, I'm having some changes. I didn't actually sit them down. I think I wrote them an email, just like saying, just so you know, you may have noticed that I'm struggling a little bit at the moment. And in the past where you just throw to me and I'd be able to just have a great witty retort, I think I might need to just prepare a little bit more because I'm not feeling confident about every single word that comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
It's a real shocker. No one tells you about the menopause and how, you know, like the peri, just the knock of confidence that you feel in yourself, to not feeling that you're able to do something that is second nature to you.
You've always done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of scary because...
Yeah, and then you go to work anxious going... But then again, it's just radio. Nobody's, like, going to die. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But you feel exposed.
Yeah.
You feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
You don't feel...
Does anyone ever talk about that? Like, I know you'd have sent an email, but, like, were there female producers on the show or...? Well,
I was lucky that the last couple I had, because there was a point, wasn't there, where we went into lockdown, in 2020, and that's when it really kicked in, the start of my perimenopause.
Oh, so good timing.
Yeah, ideal. So I was still going to work with my co-host.
Oh, so you were in a small...
Yeah, it's just in a small bubble with him. But there was nobody in the station, so we had like a producer, but actually we didn't. I don't think we even had a producer, a remote one. We might have had somebody who sent us some I don't know, some stories and stuff that we might be able to, you know, hang our coat on during the show kind of thing. But that was a really hard time, and then we did get a female producer, because I begged for one. I was like, if we can get a real person in the flesh, can we please have a lady? And I really want a lady.
But then would that person have been
No, but they're young. Yeah, so they're all in their 20s. So you just got to grin and bear it, really.
Yeah.
And you know what, to be fair, when I shared that with my co-host, there was some adjustment in the preparation, but we kind of went back down to old habits of, you know, not preparing as much as we could do, opening the mic and hoping for the best. Gosh.
Do you think that's probably...
Sorry, I've gone on a bit of a tangent. I didn't mean to go down this route.
It's amazing because it gives you an insight into, I guess, what everyone is going to be exposed to. We're all going to go through, obviously women more than men. And I think it's really nice when people hear this from women that have been in all different types of jobs. Mm-hmm. Like, I would class your job as quite high, what's the word? There you go.
There you see, it's
Fucking
catching, innit?
perimenopausal, yeah. My husband said to me this morning, he said, "You're quite angry yesterday." I was like, let's not get into that. Quite high, come on, pressured.
It is to a certain extent. I mean, the hardest part is just getting up. It's like the alarm goes off and not doing too many snoozes and getting on
your ass in
time.
there.
Yeah, I always found. I mean, like, I've got to be honest, during the pandemic, it was really hard because my co-host at the time, you know, he lived in the city. He liked to be out in the bars and everything. So he would sometimes come into work and he'd be just like, I've got nothing today.
Yeah, because where do you draw from if,
Yeah,
like, literally
yeah,
it's like there's
yeah.
an epidemic?
Yeah, and like, so we talk about our walks and how I fed the swans, you know? And now I've named them. Now they're all family members. They're coming round for Sunday lunch.
Did you feel pressure during COVID because you were probably something that really was so important to people in the morning?
Yeah, definitely. There was that pressure. But I think actually when that happened, I'd been moved to afternoons.
Okay.
So I was but to be the only, sometimes we'd go into the station and obviously it would just be literally the two of us in there and a newsreader.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, it was eerie. It was eerie just to be in a place that had lots of people bubbling about.
Yeah, to then just go
to just be this dead space and, you know, to actually be responsible for opening up and locking up.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird,
It
isn't it?
is weird, yeah. It was weird. It was a weird time. But
I think that's like talking about weird times. You mentioned just before you came on that locally you're from around here, and that you went to where your school is, and you were like, "Where's it gone?
where's my school?" Went to my old house as well. I just drove past. It's just like, like what they've done with garden.
How does that make you feel now? Like thinking back to the time in school when you say you couldn't see anyone that was doing your job, like you and Mel B went to the same school. Was there anyone else that, I mean, that seems like a good...
Angela Griffin. Yeah. Well, I've got to say, and I'm just like, this is an exclusive, but Mel B was my protege.
Right.
Honestly, there was no black people in that school.
Yeah.
And then obviously I went, because I think she's like 3, maybe 4 years younger than me. So I think I feel like I was like a big girl when she joined.
Right, okay.
I might have just gone into sixth form.
So you probably planted the seed, the whole, like, you know.
Yeah, original Scary Spice right here. No, I mean, that's what, it's kind of a compliment, but annoying as well. When people say, "Oh, you sound like Mel B," and I was like, "No, she sounds like me because I'm older."
I was the original.
Yeah.
If you were looking back now, I normally ask this question to like your younger self. Was there anything that you would say, like, I mean, it feels like it all planned and worked out really well for you, but is there anything you would say to that young girl who didn't see, you know, you didn't see the actors, you didn't see what could be?
Yeah, I wish I'd been born in 82 rather than 72, and then I would be all over your screen, baby. You know, there's no point wishing. Like, it is, I definitely feel that everything I've done has led me to here. I probably wouldn't have had the confidence to do the radio without having the acting anyway.
Yeah.
And the fact that the acting is still something that I kind of feel has been kind of not properly explored.
Yeah.
But I also know, because I have an actor friend who graduated with me, a black woman, and you know, she's doing, you know, stuff that's on Netflix now, and you know what I mean. But she's worked really hard, and she's probably had to make some tough choices along the way, and it's not been easy. And when I've said to her, "Oh God, I wish I was doing what you're doing," she was like, "But Jojo, you're on the radio.
Yeah,
it's your name in a jingle every single day that people are hearing."
Yeah.
You know, she's had a hard road, but now she's written and produced her own short film that's won loads of awards.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, big up Karen Bryson.
There we go, name drop, yeah. I often, like, somebody asked me about this previously, because as soon as I left uni, I went to Los Angeles to film school. And I, like, every couple of years, I have the same, "Oh, you didn't give it long enough." Like, you did auditions and you did, you know, the things down in London, and I didn't give it long enough. And I think there's always that there's always that itch to scratch. But I think for me now, if I was to like just think, fuck it, like, I'm going to go and audition for stuff. I don't know. Is the industry quite ageist? Like,
I do feel, even though I've got kind of a young and youthful vibe about me,
Definitely.
I am the number of 53, and I know when I said to friends that I wanted to get out of radio, there were certain friends around my age group were like, you do not want to be trying to look for a job now in our age group. You know, hang on to your job as tightly as you can, because there's so little out there, and you know you're not 30 anymore.
That's
So I know that whatever
heartbreaking.
happens, I've got to make for myself.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
You know,
but you seem like the kind of person that's like, fuck that.
I'll get motivated and I'll do something, but I don't know what it's going to be. As I say, I'm a bit not lost, but lacking in direction right now. But I'm all right with it for now, because I've done the same thing like Groundhog Day well, if you think about it, I started in 1997 and I finished in 2025. So that's what, 90s, noughties, then the teens, whatever they are. Then that's like nearly four decades, isn't it?
That's epic.
When you put it like that, oh my God.
Wait, how many days a week?
5 days a week, and there was quite a lot of times that I used to have a weekend show as well.
Shit, and then was it how many times did you ever have any sick or?
No, do you know what? So I did 22 years of breakfast, and in that time, I had no more than a 2-week holiday ever. And then I did have a break. I had 6 months off to have a baby, but I was straight back on the air. So that's the only time I had, because like that's it. When you're part of a breakfast show, everyone has to have the same holiday at the same time.
Oh, they're bringing a new team for that 2 weeks.
Yeah, someone covers like for that week or that 2, but you never get more than 2 weeks. I mean, now I think if you're getting married or there's a big, I don't know, family situation happening, you can push for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like last year, because of my husband living mainly in Wales, I said to them, nothing happens in August, does it? Can I have a month off? Because I need to just go to Wales and see if I like it. And I can't decide if I like it over an odd weekend here or there. I need to wake up there every day for a month. And once I did that, I was very lucky. They were like, do you know what? Yeah, you go and do that. Do you know what I mean? I was very lucky that my bosses really supported me with that. Because as soon as I came back, everything slotted in my mind. I was like, my house went up for sale. And that was it. By the new year, it's sold. And then they shut my radio station down anyway. So there wasn't going to be a job for me anyway.
So it's kind of a nice, like, it's going to happen. Let's go for it.
Yeah, because basically when I decided I wanted to get out of radio, like doing regional radio, before the laws changed. They used to be, by law, you had to, if you had a local radio station, it had to have a local voice on it and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then the deregulation came in, which basically meant all the big radio groups no longer had to have regional stations with regional voices. So everything, now a lot of the radio stations, even if you've got a local voice to you, they're probably
all down in London.
Such
a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. Because like I say, where do people go cut the teeth now?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping now there's going to be like an upsurge of kind of community radio stations, like people-led stations, and hopefully that they can advertise and monetize it to be able to
keep that
survive.
Going.
Yeah,
you just have to transform into it. How's your Welsh accent?
Oh no, I'm not gonna. So where I live, the nearest people say, "Where do you live in Wales?" And because everyone knows Anglesey, they know Pembrokeshire, they know Cardiff, And where I live is a place called Machynlleth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Do you want that again? Machynlleth.
Yeah.
So I have actually signed up for a Welsh course.
Because it's a dying language, isn't it?
Well, there's lots of people speak it where I live. And that's another reason why I want to know, because when I'm in the co-op and I can hear those two old ladies having a good conversation about me, I want to know what the bloody saying.
That's too right.
I need more than Yaki Dar and Borodar, don't I?
Paned.
Yeah.
I can take you paned.
Paned. That's tea. Yeah.
See, I worked with a bunch of lads that were from Anglesey.
Oh, yeah.
And they would do the same on a construction site. They were talking. I was like, I know they're talking about me.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was
yeah.
just like, now you can do most things with your phone, can't you? Record
Yeah,
it or translate. Yeah.
I haven't even thought of that. That's a great
Just
idea.
get your phone out and co-op and be like, I know what you're saying. Apparently Meta have brought out some glasses that will listen.
Oh, can I just say, I think those glasses are... I don't like technology. And that's a bit of technology. I just think it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you can just, like, with your glasses, you can be looking at something and just film it without
know.
someone knowing.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Yeah.
Not for me. Technology, shut the internet down. Boo.
I love it. Well, listen, you've been amazing. You've got an incredible story. You 100% have dared and won. But I am also super excited to see
What happens
what's
next? Whether Michael Sheen calls and says, I would love you to come and join the Welsh National Theatre.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
that may happen.
I'm putting it out there.
Yeah. And what are you doing now for putting yourself out there into the world? That sounds terrible, but is it
I'm
Instagram?
appearing on your podcast now.
You are?
Well, there is that. I mean, obviously, as well as broadcasting, I've always hosted events. So I'm nipping back to Yorkshire to host. I've got the Firecracker Ball to Rudding Park
nice.
in November with Stephanie Hurst. And then in December, because I've done it for well over a decade now, I've got the Meadow Hall Christmas party and awards, which is always, it's about 1,000 employees, a proper knees up and award ceremony, and it's always so much fun. So I'll be in Sheffield.
That Meadow Hall, is that basically like, is that like a live show opening of the Christmas? Are you allowed to say who's on this show?
No. This is like this, almost like the staff Christmas party. And
right.
Yes.
So for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
the day after that party, don't go to Meadow Hall on the Monday. You'll not get served. I'm telling you.
Oh, right.
They're all hungover.
Okay.
But yeah, it's always a fun night. You know, there's
wicked.
live music. There's a bit of charity element to it.
In Meadow Hall, they shut the hall
No,
down?
we do it at Ponds Forge.
Oh, right,
Which
okay.
is a big well, actually, I think it's a swimming bath because I always smell chlorine when I go in it, but I've never seen pool. But
Or someone's just making meth.
I just like next time I go to Ponds Forge, I need to really look at it because I think it's like they've got a massive, I suppose, sports hall, but you don't recognise it as that when it seats 1,000 people,
Right.
And they've draped all the walls.
Yeah,
I mean,
they made
it's,
it. And Rudding Park, is that
that's a proper fancy thing.
Yeah, I've been to the spa there.
Oh,
yes.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be hopefully checking out that spa very
Amazing.
soon. But yeah, other than that, I'm just free as a bird.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
Yes. Well, if you want to see what I'm up to, Instagram,
Yes.
JoJo Kelly 105.
Yeah, I'm loving the Welsh updates. All right, you've been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and you've definitely dared and won.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.
I love your setup. It's so brilliant. Proper professional and everything.